My name is Ramzi ElFekih. I'm the CEO and founder of Via Mobile. Via Mobile is a company that offers mobile financial services, and in particular, we offer mobile payment services in Tunisia in partnership with other banks, which means sending money and making payments using your mobile phone. The idea came, I was changing jobs I was between the US and France and changing jobs, and I did some research on the mobile mobile payment, mobile banking sector. And I interviewed with a few companies in the UK and other countries. And it turns out that I felt like there was more opportunities in the emerging market with respect to this sector in the mobile, because the need is higher, because most people in the US and Europe have already credit cards and bank accounts, whereas in other countries there's less penetration of these financial services. And the technology is advanced enough to secure these transactions and to secure these services. So that's how the idea came. In any case, I mean, being an entrepreneur is something that I've been doing since I graduated from school. So it's just a new venture that I wanted to go into, and that's how I chose the mobile payment sector. So the opportunity in Tunisia for mobile payment and mobile banking is huge, because approximately, I don't have the exact statistics, but approximately 2 million cards are issued in Tunisia. Debit cards or bank cards, but they're only used, 90% of them are used for taking money out of an ATM machine and not necessarily making payments. People don't trust and don't feel comfortable with payment cards or credit cards. So the market needs that. The other application that actually attracted my attention from the beginning is my first study for the market was with the microfinancing sector. So I talked to Entrepreneurial, which is the leading microfinance institution in Tunisia. Today they have 200,000 customers. I think they're going to reach 1 million customers in the years to come. So in my discussions with them, there was a clear need to help even the needy and the micro entrepreneurs save money and time by paying their loans using the phone. And actually that's one of the first applications we have of the mDinar service, which is the mobile payment service. So somebody who takes a loan to buy a cow and he pays 50 dinars a month, he doesn't have to leave his farm and go all the way to the big city to pay EMDA, which we did a study, and for a loan, about an average loan today is around 600 dinars. He pays somewhere between 30 to 50 dinars on transportation alone. So you're talking about 10% of the cost of the loan, or 10% of the loan is cost of transportation. With our solution, it allows him to pay without moving and without going. And of course, without even talking about the risk, etc., etc. So the opportunity is enormous for the country, for everybody, for the legislation, because this is traceable money, and for the users or the customers or the population, so they actually can easily access a financial service which is very economical, because the mDinar is free to open, no monthly fees, no fee to deposit money, no fee to take money out. You only pay for a transaction, just like when you do a Western Union transaction, for example. But it's economical, not an economical transaction fee based on the amounts and also the transaction types. Now, from our business, we started the business in 2009. We were actually ready to launch the service in March 2010. Unfortunately, we got stopped because of the previous government's corruption scheme and control unfair competition rules that were in place. Just after the January revolution, we submitted our approval again. We got approval, And since then, we were able to launch. Now, having said that, so that's the optimistic side, and let's say now there are new rules that are more fair, and hopefully it will stay that way. Now our challenge is more related to the regulatory environment. Unlike what people think in the Western world, Tunisian financial system and the laws in Tunisia are very well developed, and they exist, whether it's with respect to the banking sector or the intellectual property or other. I mean, the laws are there. It's a matter of how they're applied and how strict they are. In the banking sector, they're extremely strict. And unfortunately, we've faced a lot of challenges in that side because with the new technology, the new services, we needed some adjustments. We needed some opening to in those laws. And today, it's not there yet. And obviously, with the current environment, it's going to take time to see that change. So in the meantime, we had to work around it. We have to work with the bank so that certain services are controlled. For example, today, one of the challenges we have is we want people to open an account without going to the bank, because we do it online. Unfortunately, we can't because the law forces you, regardless of the amount. Of course, there are the international laws for KYC, they call them, which is Know Your Customer rules. But still, for certain amounts, let's say under $500, you're supposed to be able to use cash, send cash, receive cash, without having to have a full information on the person. So there are still some challenges that we're facing, and that's the biggest challenge we have, to be able to develop the service very quickly and for people to really adopt that service. I think the entrepreneurial spirit there exists in Tunisia. I think a lot of young people want to have their company. They want to start something. But I think the history was not encouraging. So now with the change, I'm sure there's going to be quite a few people that going to venture into being an entrepreneur. But the rules have changed, so even those people are going to be surprised and they have to adapt themselves. I think the challenge is related to, well, part of it is the way the educational system today is pretty technical, meaning if you are going to learn engineering, you will be a good engineer in a sense of scientific sense, in the technology sense. But from professionalism, quality, management techniques, all those are very weak today in Tunisia. Anything outside the technicity of what you learn, there's not enough. I mean, it's pretty sad to see some of the resumes that I get. I mean, from everything, from the way they're written, the way they're formatted. It's not because people are not smart, it's just nobody helped them do their first resume. So obviously they're not going to know. So there are things that are simple, and I mean, it's a training, really. I mean, it's training to be a professional, training to be in the business world. And I think that's key to helping the entrepreneurs in Tunisia be successful. The spirit of entrepreneurship is a spirit. It's not just one thing, or you really have to live it yourself, and you have to convey that to the people that come with you. I mean, my advice is really to be a good team leader and a team player. That's the biggest thing, because I think people are motivated when they feel they're part of something. I mean, my advice is not different from a startup to a big company in a sense, or an entrepreneur to just an employee or a manager. Today, to be an entrepreneur in Tunisia, I think there's a huge potential in Tunisia. to offer good services, quality services. So I definitely encourage anybody who's thinking of being an entrepreneur or starting his business to go for it, but try their best to do it with a good quality, in the best possible way they can, and convey that to the people they hire with them or they bring in with them. Is really quality of the work is the most important, and that's what we lack, is to offer quality service. The attitude, it's the personality and attitude of the person, the ultimate test for me, because an engineer, he went through, the schools are the same, what they learned, the same thing. I look for people who really want to succeed, people who are motivated to be the best. They want to advance. That's what I look for. There are people who are like that. There are people who are motivated, because that's the basics. I mean, people who are willing to learn, people who are going to be motivated to be the best, and then you can steer them, you can help them one way or another.